Shadia, you were on the receiving end of one of the most talked about uppercuts. What did that feel like?
I was on mortar combat. It just hurted. Like it was like a finishing. You know what I'm saying?
Upon identifying the driver, he was immediately suspended and removed from duty. His behavior is absolutely unacceptable. RTA apologizes to our customers for this incident. But who is not apologizing? There's two people involved in this. What can you say about your role? Did you hit him?
No, see, that's why I want to talk to my lawyer. I can't answer that question.
Alright guys, so we're gonna... Let me flip my mic around. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Alright, so we're gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna be paying attention to the chat, and if you guys have any like tutorial like questions, I'll go ahead and help you out with that if it's something that I can answer. Alright, there you go. So I'm just gonna have the mic on. I'll have music in the background. Hopefully you could kind of hear it, but probably not. Let me turn up the music just a little bit. Any tips for noobs? that's very that's very generic. It's very vague. You need be more specific. Like, what do you have trouble with? Do you have trouble drawing people? Because like, my best advice for someone who's just getting started, if you're having trouble drawing any particular thing, like if you're not good at humans, then you just need to draw a bunch of humans. If you have trouble with cars, you just need to draw a whole bunch of cars. And, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty simple. Like, if you're just getting started, you don't know where to start, try to draw something, anything, and if you're not able to draw it, and then study what that particular thing is, learn how to draw that. Does that make sense? That's the best advice I have for someone who's just getting started. Figure out what you're bad at, and then work on it until you're not bad at it anymore. And then find the next thing that you're bad at, and then work on that until you're not bad anymore. And eventually your list of things that you're bad at will shrink. I mean, it will never go away. You'll always be bad at something. But... Okay, so the question is, any tips on drawing straight lines? The best thing you can do to practice straight lines without using a ruler, but a ruler or a straight edge is probably your best bet. There's an exercise you can do where you can, you're just gonna try to make a whole bunch of parallel lines. Parallel. Like this. Can you see that? You're just gonna make as many parallel lines as possible. Now there's a whole method to how you plant how you're gonna use your arm. If you flick with your wrist, you're gonna draw waves like that, right? Like, flicking your wrist is good for close control, for getting a lot of details up close. But like, if you want to get long lines, you're gonna bend with your elbow, not with your wrist. So you're gonna get lines like that. So to get straight line, whoops. See, even I'm not good at this sometimes. When I'm groggy, I can't do these lines. Like when I have to be drawing for a few hours to get good at doing parallel lines. Otherwise, I'm still not good at it. But yeah, bend with your elbow and your shoulder, and that will allow you to go. I still can't do it. What pen am I using? I'm using the Copic 0.5 is an SP pen. You're talking about parallel lines like this? Because perpendicular would be like that, where you want it to cut. So when you're making a stroke, everyone has their preferred line. So like, for me, I like to start here and then go outwards. So I go from left to right, upwards, and then I bend with my elbow. Some people like to go the opposite way, where they go in like this. Ah, I can't do it like that. When I do ovals, I like to bring it towards me, inwards like this. Inwards like that. Right? When I try and do a circle the opposite way, like this, I can't do it. But when I do a line going away from me, I can do it. When I do a line this way, I can't do it. If I do a circle towards me, I can do it. If I do a circle away from me, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Well, except that one, that was a fluke. It's hard to stop at a controlled endpoint. Well, I think, I don't know exactly what your problem could be, but like, I'm sure you've seen this exercise where you put 2 dots on the page and you just try and match them, which I still can't do. Like, I still suck at this exercise, by the way. See, that was a fluke. You know, if you're roller skating, yeah. See, I still can't do it well. I have an Instagram, yeah. Yeah, that's my Instagram, if y'all want to follow me there. How do you do shadowing and shading? Boy, that's a question that has a lot of answers to it. What exactly are you having issues with your shadowing and your shading? Can you guys hear me okay? Is the music too loud? Is the music too quiet? Am I yelling too loud? Preferably, I'd be going like this. See? Ugh, I used to do 1,000 lines every morning. I don't do it anymore, but I used to. God damn it. I should have kept doing that. My line work would be fucking godly right now if I kept up with that. Yeah, I used to wake up and do 1,000 lines every morning. I did that for like 8 months, I think, or some shit like that. It was just a part of my morning. Like, I would wake up. Ugh, I need to start doing that again. What am I doing? What am I doing with myself? How many pages so far? Not a lot. Don't worry about it. I'm not even counting the pages. It's not worth counting because I'm so not far into this. I'm confident we could finish it in a month though. Like, finishing 600 pages in a month doesn't seem that difficult. A whole month? Oh, yeah. And then there's also that other part about when you're making a line. Like, if you start with your pen right on it, and then you make your line, it's always heavier right here, and then it's lighter right here, right? Like, the start point will have that dot to it, because you start here. So the method is the landing method, where you don't start on the page and then go like that. You have to land. You know what I mean? Land like a plane. Instead of starting here and going there, because then you'll have a really dark mark right here, and that looks weird. Damn it. Albertus, I have no idea what you're asking. Jesus. Ooh, Copic multi-liners are nice. That's what I'm using right now. I've had the disposable Copics, disposable ones, but I switched over. Like, I need to buy a thinner one because 0.5 is a little too heavy for me. Like, the lines are too thick for my taste. But these SP body pens is like my favorites lately. I have one that's a felt tip brush. It's cool, but like I used to really hate it. But once I got a little bit more practice into it, it became, I don't know, like it's not my favorite, but I really like it now. For anyone who is in the LA area, I'm gonna be at the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo in the City of Industry tomorrow and Sunday, selling my artwork. Will I be streaming later today? I plan to. I plan this stream to end in about 3 hours. Because I have a lot of stuff to prep for the upcoming convention, plural. I'm not gonna lie, it's easier for me to draw things in perspective when I don't use the grid lines. Like these grid lines right here are stifling me, like I'm having trouble. But if I do it without the lines, I'm able to envision it much, much quicker. How do you draw things out of your head, or where do you get ideas? Oh, I don't know. Like, I think I don't know how long you've been on my channel, but I do an exercise here on the channel where I'll draw live. I call them freestyle drawings. If you go through my channel, you'll find I have maybe like 25 or something of them. So that's an exercise that I do where I just take a pen, because if you do a pen, then you're kind of forced to follow through with what you're making. I just draw like what comes out of my brain. Like if I make a line, then I have to follow through with it and try to make something out of it. You know, and that's what I do with all my regular sketchbooks. All the time, like almost every day. Not so much the past couple weeks because I've been working a lot, but normally I'll just do that. Like I'm just drawing nonsense all the time, and I don't think when I draw. Like it's a skill that you have to practice. Like yeah, there are people who are inherently creative who could just think of wild shit off the top of their head. But if you're not one of those people, then you need to practice. You need to just open a sketchbook and you need to start drawing. And if you don't like what's coming out, it's too bad. You have to finish what you started. And then once you could learn... Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was drawing here. I thought I was going to draw a plane, but then I turned it into a bird, and then I don't know. Yeah. So, you just need to, like, get a sketchbook or a line. It doesn't matter. It could be like a notebook. Like, it'd be like lined notebook. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a fancy sketchbook like this. And you just need to draw something, and if you don't know what it's going to be, you can't abandon it. You have to be like, well, I have to make something out of this. That's what a freestyle drawing is. I do a lot of those, and that's what's really helped me create ideas out of nothing. I think so often people are worried about making a sketchbook look really nice because they wanna post it online or whatever the fuck they want to do with it. Yeah. Any tips on extracting an image out of your head? I find that when I draw, I tend to improvise based on previous lines. Problem is that I can't control the end. Oh, you can't control the end product. Okay, but what you're doing there, where you're making the most out of the lines you put down, that's good. Like, that's already solid. In regards to finding an ending to your drawing, I don't think that's a problem, right? Is that a problem? Like it doesn't have to be something when it's done. I mean, I don't know, like, making the most out of the current lines that you're making, that seems to be a pretty good method. I mean, again, I don't see what the big deal is if it doesn't become anything when you deem it to be done. The point is just getting shit onto the paper and exercising. When you want to get... Because, like, there's a difference between when you're sketching and when you're trying to make a product, right? Like, if you're making a product, you already know what the fuck you're gonna draw. Like, you're like, oh, I want to make... it's gonna be landscape, you know the composition, you know what the story is, you know what the character's gonna be like. You already have that played out in your head, alright? That's not a sketch, that's a product that you're gonna make. In which case you know what the end product is, and your sketching will help you get there. When you're sketching to practice, like, it doesn't need to have an end product. Good drawing pencils? Oh, I don't know. Any pencil I use is just a mechanical pencil, like from fucking Walmart. Maybe someone in the chat will have advice for a good pencil. I just use a mechanical pencil. Or not just mechanical exclusive, but like regular, like school pencils. Yeah, sure. Because I have a lot of pencils. Like, people, well, naturally, people, like, my family knows that I'm an artist, right? So naturally, they've gotten me things over the years, and I don't use a goddamn one of them. Like, they've got me like graphite pencils. I mean, I've used them and I've practiced them, and I got pretty good with charcoal for a while. And I was just like, this is fucking boring and it's messy. I hate it. So I stopped. It was mainly because it was really messy and I didn't like it. It's like you're automatically drawing what's convenient instead of what's true to the image. Ah, okay. Honestly, when it comes to internal issues like that, I don't know. Like, people ask, like, I don't know. People have asked me, I don't know how to get the image from my head to the page, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's such like an internal problem. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't, like, I want to be able to give you a definitive answer on how to fix that, but I'm just like, the only way I could see you getting around that is like practicing, in the sense of like, maybe if you want to practice a particular image, like let's say you have an image in your head of what you want, instead of just going flat out and trying to draw it, maybe start with like a really small thumbnail, you know? You know, like really simple, right? Start with a really small thumbnail, like, oh, okay, that's kind of how I'm going to structure it, and then you move on to a bigger thumbnail, you know? Again, this isn't like a solution to your problem, but this is how I would go about it if I had issues getting the image out from my head onto the page. Again, a lot of people give advice on how to fix internal problems like that, and I'm like, I don't think there is a one way to fix it. I think that's something that you have to explore and find your own solution to. Like for me, the way I was able to get images from my head onto the page was just drawing a lot and doing it with pen and doing it in my sketchbook and going really sloppy with it until I got to the point where I just kind of stopped caring. Because you guys have seen my sketchbook, y'all know I don't give a shit about what comes out of my pages. And I think the ability to just go with it, you know, and stop really worrying so much about the end result helps you actually get the result that you want. At least it does for me. So like, the reason that I've been able to progress as much as I have with the faults that I have, because I'm not saying I'm like an amazing artist, I'm just saying I have really been able to nail down the issues that I've had in the past. The reason I've been able to do that, honestly, was when I started carrying around a sketchbook everywhere I went. Then I'll just sketch. If I had 5 minutes of spare time, I would sketch. Now what that allowed me to do was improve my speed, and once I realized that I was just churning out drawings, I really stopped caring about the end product, and that really freed me mentally to just draw whatever the fuck I felt like. And I feel like a lot of artists are so worried about making something sloppy. Again, I'm gonna go back to people with like perfect sketchbooks. Like, you see these people with perfect sketchbooks, I'm like, I guarantee you tore out a bunch of pages. Like people who do like sketchbook tours on YouTube, and their sketchbooks are like amazing. I guarantee they tore out like a bunch of really sloppy pages, you know what I mean? But anyway, I think once you free yourself to not giving a shit, then you're gonna be able to produce stuff that you really, you know. What's up, Soul? Like, I used to obsess so much. I'm like, oh my god, I can't draw this, I can't draw that. I almost never have that problem anymore. Like, even though, yeah, I do have trouble drawing things. Of course, nobody's fucking perfect. Unless you're like Kim Jong-il or you know, fucking art germ or whatever. One of those guys or girls. Just, I don't know. Oh, I forgot who said it. There was this quote about stress, and it was all like, if you... I'm not even gonna paraphrase because I can't even remember what the fuck it was, but it was something about stressing out or worrying about your end product uses more energy than if you just focused on trying to get the end product. Thank you, Electro. I appreciate it. That's why you draw on copy paper. Yeah, just draw on anything. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, unless you're gonna sell it, even then, like, you could... If you draw something that's really cool on a napkin, and then you just save it, you just put the napkin away, and then you, like, let's say you become really popular later, you could straight up sell that napkin. Like, it's gross. You can do it. You pass butter. Whoops. Oh, that ladder's all fucked up. Should be like this. Stop. So I currently am going through Scott Robertson's I have this book in front of me just for inspiration right now. Start Your Engines. It's one of my favorite books. I'm not copying right out of it, but the way he teaches industrial design in it, especially specifically for vehicles, is like one of my favorite things. So I sometimes will open it just to give my brain a couple of strokes. Alright, so we'll try and draw something without the lines. Quote, try. What's a good digital art program? They're all pretty good. Like, I'll type them in for you. Yeah, so Clip Paint Studio, Paint Tool Sai, and Adobe Photoshop, I would say, are in my opinion, the best ones. And the only ones really worth investing your energy or effort into. But just know that they're all good. Once you practice enough on any one of them, then it's fine. It's more about you learning the program and practicing with whatever tablet you get. You know, you don't need any specific tablet. You don't need any specific program. You just As long as you stick to the one that you get and you practice with it. Oh, this is all messed up. And you'll be fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be 10 bucks a month, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm saying, that's too bad, because I'm not going to say it because I'll get in trouble. If you know what I'm saying. Is it true when you start sketching, you get used to it and you draw really fast? Hold on. I got an email, important email, hold on. Fuck. So, what's up with that New York Comic-Con, though? Your boy just got into that. No, I didn't get in, never mind. It's okay, though. I got an update about New York Comic-Con. I got excited for a second. My bad. Let me get back to the chat. Is it true when you start sketching, you get used to it and you draw really fast? Yeah, it's just like anything else that you practice in life. Once you practice more at it, you're gonna get really good. You're gonna get really fast because it's gonna turn into second nature. Like, okay, you don't think twice about tying your shoe, right? You're just like, okay, whatever, zip 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 zip, zip done, right? And then you leave. Hopefully, but and it's not exclusive to drawing. It's like that with everything, you know. If you just practice more and then you'll get faster at it, you know? Like, that's why professional chefs will always cook faster than, well, me. And you, probably. Yeah, clip paint, if you wait for it to go on sale, oh my god, you can get it for so cheap, and it's such a good program. I don't use it, I've used it. So when I freehand, so the question is, so when you freehand perspective, alright, hold on. Is that for the cloud? Are you talking about Photoshop for cloud? Yeah, that's where it has the monthly subscription, the Creative Cloud, the Photoshop CC. So the next question is, when you freehand perspective, do you picture the vanishing points, or do you angle new lines based on the previous lines? Both. Well, I guess the second thing first. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I made this line, and then I have to figure out what I'm drawing, and then I'll draw based on the previous lines that I made, and then from there I'll determine where my vanishing points are and how the perspective is going to be set up, and then how, yeah. You know what's funny? All the prints that I sell when I go to conventions, like, other than my big Pokemon print, because I'm 95% original art when I sell at conventions. I don't have a lot of fan art. All my original pieces are actually just blown up things out of my sketchbook. So they're essentially like, they're all, maybe except 2 of them, they're all pretty much just like nonsense that came out of my brain, but they're selling better than most people's fan art, which I find hilarious, because most people, like, not most, but a lot of people think that there's some like deep meaning to my drawings. They're like, oh, you put a lot of like machinery and it represents this and that. I'm like, nah, dude, I was just fucking drawing in my sketchbook, but whatever floats your boat. The New York Comic-Con update, they just gave me an exhibitor's agreement, so that I can apply, because I had already put in an inquiry a long time ago for New York Comic-Con, and they just sent me an exhibitor's like packet, so you could read through it and then you give them your information. Then from there they'll determine whether or not they want you, but you have to give them that first in order to get accepted. You know what I mean? Have I ever been to Anime Iowa? No. Dude, just use the old version of Photoshop. Do you know who Nips is? The artist Nips? She uses like fucking CS2 or whatever because it's free, you know? And you can do, like, you don't need the Creative Cloud shit. I think the only program that warrants the Creative Cloud is Premiere, Adobe Premiere Pro. Because the Creative Cloud version of Premiere Pro has this auto syncing. Like if you have a video, if you record your video and your audio separately, which you're supposed to do, normally you would have to line up them manually. But in the Creative Cloud version of Premiere Pro, there's like an option where it'll sync it up for you based on the wavelengths of the audio. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking sick. We'll try and stay in the same perspective throughout this entire page. Whoops, why fuck that up? Yeah, you missed the cutoff to buy Premiere. Has been glitchy for you lately. How have the conventions been going? They've been going really well. They've been going non-stop. So I'll be in LA, or I'll be in LA area this weekend, and I'll be back in Los Angeles for Anime Los Angeles the weekend after that. I am tempted later today to go out and hunt for a Kyogre in Pokemon Go because it's raining here. I want that boosted Kyogre. Plus, I don't have one yet, and I don't plan to miss it. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna have to kind of speed up here because of kind of dicking around. Dicking around. I leave some of these pages so empty, though. Sucks. A majority of the Sketchbook Slam challenges that I see online, they don't really fill up the entire page. Not trying to call anyone out, but what I'm saying is, if you have 600 pages that are halfway full, that means you did 300 pages, you know? I don't know. Honor system, I guess. So I just the first part of this year is me in California. Like, I have a lot of California shows this first couple months, and that makes me really happy because as fun as it is to travel, sometimes I get tired of like flying places, just like so time consuming. I think that's what it is. But I think the better part about flying away to a convention is because I'm based in California. So like if I sell in the same area for too long, this goes for anyone, not just California. If you keep selling in the same location, you got to keep going conventions or art shows or the same place over and over and over and over, you're gonna oversaturate the market with your stuff. Yeah, you'll be really popular, like everyone will know you and they'll like you. But the problem is everyone will have already bought your stuff. Everyone who likes you will have bought your stuff. Unless you're continuously bringing out new product, which is fine. You oversaturate your particular area and eventually it gets really hard to make money. So there was a while where I was selling only in California and I was like, I wasn't making that much money, and like it started going down and I was like, what the fuck, man? And I realized that's what it was, so I started moving outwards, you know, flying places. I took the risk and invested in that. So anytime I go to a new city, that's 100% new audience to see my artwork. So that's a bunch of new people that I can get to follow my artwork, brand new people, and new people to buy it because nobody owns it, so they're more likely to buy it. That's what makes flying out to these out-of-state conventions for me so lucrative. Also, when I do that, I'm away from California for a while, so conventions will pass here that I'm not at, and people are like, "Whoa, where are you at? Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be back." So you keep them waiting, and then you come back, and you'll have more than 1 or 2 new products. You'll have like, hopefully, a lot of stuff. So, I think the convention life. How are the conventions going? It's going really well. Like, convention life is good because I think I figured out a strategy on how to keep it fresh and lucrative. But it does require a lot of beforehand investment and risk. But you know what? Nothing ever great came without risk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know Florida and California both have a lot of conventions that happen throughout the year. However, and yeah, oversaturation of existing conventions slows down business for everyone just because once there's a lot of conventions, none of them are a big deal anymore. And if none of them are a big deal, then attendees don't really give a shit, you know? They're like, well, I don't need to buy this here. I'll buy it next time, next month, at next month's convention, you know? But if you're from out of town and you tell them, hey, I make a point to say, hey, I flew in from California, I'm not going to be back for a whole year. I'm like, okay, I'll just buy it right now. I think that's why Holiday Matsuri worked out so well for me when I was in Orlando this past month, or last month. Because like that was my first time selling in Florida, so everyone there was new customers to me. This box is all wonky. It's alright, I'll make it work. Jesus. Well, I messed up. Oh well. Feel like drawing a person. Whip out the brush pens, brother. Do I have any paper suggestions for using alcohol? It depends on your combination of what you're using to ink your lines and what you're using to actually color with. My favorite combination, I'll write it in the chat. So the Copic multi-liners or the Sakura Pigma pens. Or not Pigma. What the fuck am I talking about? The Pigma multi-liners, whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. These ones, the one that everyone uses. These ones. Those work really well to not smudge. But yeah, you do have to let them dry though. I don't think overnight is necessary, but I mean, like, that's totally cool if that's what you have to do. But that's what I've done. I've used that in combination with Copic markers to get the results that I've been wanting. No, I marked my book. Oh, my bad. Paper. Sorry, I just there you go. That's my favorite paper to use. My bad. My bad. Wasn't paying attention. This pen's too thick to work with. Oh, whole cup of a whole cup of coffee's gone. Alright, see ya. Thanks for coming by. Oh, I'm out of coffee. Fuck. Hey, what's going on? Am I ready for Anime Los Angeles? Yeah, I'm good. I'm always ready. I can go to a con at any moment and be comfortable. But are you gonna be there? Is Ivy gonna be there? When am I going back to Texas? I'll be back in Texas for sure. For Anime Austin. I don't remember the dates for Anime Austin off the top of my head, but that's the next Texas convention that I have for sure. I want to make my way over to Houston area, but I can't get into those conventions. Like, I just haven't been able to get into the conventions around in that area. Oh, dang, she got into Rose City? Nice, nice. Are you ready for ALA? Did you get Artist Alley or Vendor Spot? You know what? I kind of dodged a bullet because I got a vendor spot for ALA, but I only got the vendor spot because I missed artist signups for ALA because I was at Rose City during the signups for ALA for Artist Alley. So it worked out fine. I plan to just do exhibitors from now on anyway, just because like that's I've kind of I've kind of outgrown the Artist Alley. Even like AX next year. The fact that it's gonna be really hard to get 2 tables, I just want to get a vendor spot. Like, fuck it, whatever, dude. Oh, hold on, I got an email. Potentially important email. I actually have a ribbon as well. I'm only making 50 of them. I'm gonna give them out to the first 50 people who buy my Pokemon print. My nib's getting all fucked up. Have you done ALA before? Plus, you know, Artist Alley gets, like, lately it's been feeling like they've just been saying, like, fuck you, Dota Artist Alley. Like, a lot of them are just, like, for example, Anime Impulse, you know, the one in Pomona, it just passed last weekend. They put out the floor map for 2019. They straight up just moved the artists to the other table. Like, they did what ALA did, they just moved them to a different building. They're just like, whatever. They just moved them to a different building. And you know what the problem is? The problem isn't the conventions, it's the artists. Like, we keep signing up for them. They keep, like, we have a lot of conventions to choose from, right? But they know that we're gonna sign up no matter what. All they're gonna do is sign up and then complain about it, and then that's it. They're still gonna get the money, and they're not gonna change because people will sign up regardless. Like, it's like this circle. ALA last year was really good for me. I was in the Artist Alley, and the Artist Alley was in the same place as the vendors last year. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure the vendors area will be good this year. I don't know how Artist Alley is going to do, because they didn't just separate the Artist Alley, but they also increased the amount of artists. So it's like, you guys are way off in a different location, and there's more competition? Like, Jesus, dude. That's like a... They're like creating the formula for failure. But they don't care. No, I said I was gonna go back to IkiCon. No, I said it was super unorganized, but I made my money there. So I'm trying to get back into IkiCon, but they're so fucking unorganized. Like, okay, you saw my vlog, right? Where they were like, on the end of the second day, they were like, all right, everyone just stay behind and we'll give the contracts for next year. And I was like, fine. So I waited half an hour and nobody ever came back. And I was like, what the fuck is this? They were like, oh, no, it was just for exhibitors. I'm like, then why do you have all these artists waiting around here for half an hour? And they're like, we'll do artists tomorrow. And then, like, they didn't even care. They're like, oh, we'll hand out artist stuff tomorrow. Then they just walked away. And I was like, you fucking bitch. You wasted a half hour of my day. So the next day, when we clean up at the end of the third day, I'm just like, okay, where are the contracts? Oh, we're going to email them out. And I was like, fucking Jesus Christ. So I have not gotten an email from them yet. So I start emailing them. I've emailed them 3 times since the end of December. So basically once a week is when I'm emailing them. No response. I'm like, you know? It's like, you don't want my fucking money, then that's your deal. But no, IkiCon, the attendance is there, the money is there. It's just that it's being run by like a bunch of dumbasses. But okay, that's what it feels like anyway. I'm not gonna say they're dumbasses, but they're acting like it, so whatever. And if any of you running IkiCon are watching this stream, you better fucking answer my email, piece of shit. Sheila, what other conventions do you have scheduled for this year? Like, for sure scheduled. Anime ST. Which one's that? Anime STL? What does that stand for? Oh, it was a B20. Oh, St. Louis. Oh, Denver Comic Con. I got into that too. I hear that show is amazing, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I've never been to Denver Comic Con, but based on what everyone says, I actually had a friend last year who chose Denver Comic Con over Anime Expo. And while I disagree with that, I think she did pretty well. So I'm like, the fact that you can, this year you could finally do Denver and AX is amazing. I am going to Planet Comic Con. I've never sold in that area before. I'm just very curious to see how that's gonna go. I really, you know what? I've had a really good streak of conventions for the past couple months. I really hope I don't make a mistake and do a show that fucks up my winning streak right now. Because I've net a profit at pretty much every convention that I've been at for the past, like, 2 months, 3 months. No, longer than that. No, okay, I've been netting positive for a while now, but my net has been really big the past couple months. So I'm just like, hope the gravy train keeps on going, because I have a lot of good shows coming up, and I've made a lot of good investments this year, like low cost investments, like with travel and housing and stuff for these cons. So I just really hope that shit doesn't get too real. For Planet Comic Con, I don't know, what do you so what do you recommend for that area? I was thinking of just renting a car, because using Lyft, using like a rideshare like Lyft and Uber, or especially using a taxi, just costs so much fucking money, dude. And then I don't want to take like a bus or something, or a train, because I have to carry some gear with me, and I don't want to carry that when I'm taking public transportation. You did amazing at Planet? Nice. That's good to hear. Whoops, whoops, whoops. At the Opera House. Okay, I'll think about it. Yeah, when I fly, I like to rent a car. That gives me freedom to like explore and like go to the gym and shit. So that's what I've been doing. I'll figure it out. I mean... like, the way I have things set up, flight plus table plus my Airbnb plus renting a car, I mean, there's almost no way I'm not gonna net profit something, you know? Like, it's just... Like, I don't know, the investments lately have just been so low because I cut out using Lyft, you know, renting a car is cheaper, you know, using Airbnb is cheaper. My flights are always really cheap, or I just use points to pay for everything. Boy, when I do that. Did I ever tell you guys what I did at New York? So I rack up a lot of travel points like really quick. So, I got a hotel for Anime New York City, and it was all paid for and everything, but I was able to reach out to like 3 other artists. I was like, yo, you wanna split this room? Like, okay. I was like, yeah, the full price would have been this, you know? So I just pocketed the money. It was... Which was nice of me. Because I actually didn't give them the full value of the room. I actually cut it down a little bit. No, I bring all my prints. I know how to transport everything. Yeah. So if you were one of my roommates for Anime New York, thank you. You paid for my rent that month. Yeah, I use I'm all in with Chase. I use a 5-card system with Chase to get all my points. I don't like the 4-card, my bad. The trifecta method with Chase was good, but I mean once you can get that ink card in there, oh Jesus, like god damn it, you could build up points so quick. If I finish the Dragon Ball print by then yeah, I'll bring it. I've just been having trouble with getting it the way I want. Like, I've been working on it. I'm not gonna live stream it. I'll put up the video of it though. I've been having trouble getting it to look the way I want it to look, and it's just, I don't know how long it's gonna take to get done. I wanted to have it done for ALA, but that's totally not gonna happen. So I don't know. If I have it done in time, I'll bring it. Yeah. Well, I'll try to get it done, like... Yeah, my entire flight, like, I paid for my entire New York trip with points. I paid for my flight to Florida for Holiday Matsuri with points. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, and it's stuff that you're gonna have to buy for the business anyway. It's ridiculous. How much would it cost? Oh, I don't share my table space. Never. Nah. You could buy your own table space and then watch the vlogs and see how I do things. Like, if you've seen my vlogs, then you've seen what I do. Like, there's no mystery to it. Like, I have like 2 or 3 things that I have, like, okay, maybe a total of like 5 different lines that I pitch, right? And I just say them over and over and over. Like, what you see in my vlogs, that's literally the entire thing. That's all I do. I just do it for a really long time, like 9 hours a day. So, question, been having trouble getting back into painting. I just started being super depressed when painting. Any thoughts to get you out of your funk? So here's the thing. Let's say you're not, let's say you were not a painter. Let's say you worked at some corporation, or let's say you flipped burgers at Burger King. Let's say you did any job other than painting, okay? If you were sad or depressed, or you were hungover, or you were unhappy, or you were like antsy, or you wanted to watch a movie, or whatever it is that's going to distract you from work, if you were doing a quote normal job, is that an excuse to not do your job? If your job was walking dogs, and one day you felt depressed, could you just call up your clients and be like, hey, I'm not going to walk your dog today because I don't feel like it? No. If you want to be about this in drawing, you have to be able to push back any emotion that you have and just start drawing or start painting. A lot of artists would argue against that and say, you need to embrace your feelings and use it to draw. And I'm like, fine, if you want to use that as inspiration to draw something and express yourself, that's fine. But you can't use it as an excuse to not work. Because you can't use it as an excuse, like if you're a doctor and you're not feeling quite all about it that day for whatever reason, you know, and there are valid reasons to not feel like you want to do it, you know, like there are a lot of valid reasons. Like yours is a totally valid reason to feel like you don't want to do anything. But at the end of the day, if you're about this life, you have to be able to push that back. You know, you have to remember what you were doing before and then continue business as usual. That's all it comes down to. You need to be able to have, because I'm fucking angry and depressed all the time, like all the fucking time. I am, but I don't let it interfere with my work. I'm like, because I know, like when I was an auto mechanic, I was depressed all the time. Like I hated my life. I hated every aspect of turning wrenches and all that shit, right? But I still went to work. 90% of people hate their jobs. They still have to go to work. Well, they don't have to, but they choose to go regardless. And drawing and painting is the exact same thing. You may not feel like it, but if you're about this life, you have to do it anyway. That's really all it comes down to. You just... People think that there's this some like special thing about being an artist. Like a lot of people, especially on like Artist Alley Network International or Facebook groups, people don't understand us. Or there are a lot of people who complain about how the artists in artist alleys are treated. I'm like, fucking, it's like that in any job, it's any corporation, you know? It's just like, I don't know. But anyway, back to the point at hand. It's not, you can't use that as a like, yeah, you get it, you get it. You know what baffles me? I don't get to use the word baffled enough. There are a lot of artists who only draw when they feel like it. They're like, oh, I need to be in the right mindset to work. I'm like, well, that's like bullshit. There are days when I don't feel like going to the gym, but I do know that, you know, I want to lose weight. So I'm like, well, you know what? I fucking got to go to the gym, you know? And it's those moments where you don't feel like doing it and you do it anyway that builds discipline, that breaks your that breaks habit, you know, or conditioning. If you condition yourself to eat bad food, now I'm pulling from personal experience. If you condition yourself to eat bad food every time you feel bad, and you always eat bad food every time you feel bad, then that's all you're gonna do, and you're not gonna get anywhere. If people condition themselves to not draw during the times where they don't feel like drawing, guess what? They're never gonna draw when they don't feel like drawing. And if the feeling of not drawing is stronger than your feeling of wanting to draw, then you're not about the life. That's what I believe. Not talking shit on anyone, I'm just stating a fact. And it's okay to not be about the life. The thing that bothers me the most, I think, and again, I don't mean to keep harping on the fucking Artist Alley International group, but this is where I got into most of the arguments, but you could find it in almost any artist community or artist group. It's okay to not be about the life. Like, you don't have to be a fucking professional all the time. Like, if you don't want to, then work at whatever capacity you want to be at, but don't tell other people not to do that, because like if there's like some this is going off on a tangent, but if there's like some 18-year-old who like they think they want to be an artist but they're not quite sure, oh fuck it, I'll tell you a conversation I had in the Artist Alley group before I left. One of the reasons I left, there was a woman who she was like, I'm very unhappy with the level of my artwork, but you know, I have a kid, I have a full-time job, you know, I provide, you know, I like to spend time with my family. What do I do? How do I improve? And I was all like, okay. I was like, okay, you have your full-time job, you have to do that because that's how you pay your bills. I was like, you can't avoid that. I was like, you want to spend time with your family? Okay, allocate time for that because it's your family, right? And I was like, that's what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. So I was like, the only other place for you to pull time from is sleep. I'm like, cut 2 hours out of sleep, and then you'll be able to spend 2 hours a day studying. 2 hours a day? That's a lot, dude. Like, you can improve a lot 2 hours a day. And everyone in the group was all, oh, you're telling her to fucking not sleep. Sleep deprivation is bad for artists. And I was just like, Bitch, I only sleep 3 to 4 hours a night. My artwork's better than yours. Just go suck a dick, you know? But the thing that bothered me the most was there was this person here who really wanted help with their artwork. And what these other artists did was tell her that basically there's no way for her to improve her art. No, you can't cut back sleep because it's gonna make your artwork bad. Sleep deprivation is real bad for you. And yeah, it is, but I mean, if you don't have any other choice, if you literally have no other time in the day, and you know what I mean? Like, you need to... And I think that's the thing that bothered me the most. I was all like, you essentially just told this woman that she has with her lifestyle, she has no chance of improving her artwork. That is so demoralizing, and that's so irresponsible to tell somebody. And, like, I'm not a fucking saint. Like, I don't... For the most part, I don't really care what people... Like, if somebody improves or not, honestly, sometimes I really just don't give a shit. Because I got my own thing going on. Like, I'll just be real with you. But, I don't know, it's just like... It's okay to not care if other people improve or not, but don't do something that's gonna hurt their progress, you know what I mean? Just like, it really bothered me. I was just like, this woman is probably gonna spend the rest of her life being miserable about her artwork just because these people are enabling, or not enabling, they're just like reinforcing... I don't know how to describe it. You get what I'm saying though, right? That's the fundamental reason why I left that group. Like, you guys are bad for each other, and you're bad for everyone else who's in here. Fuck off, and I left. Art is kind of less automatic process, though, compared to more mainstream jobs, and it's a lot harder to do well when you force yourself to do it. You're guilty of running away from your drawings when you get blocked, but usually... Swap to 3D modeling. Okay, well, that's the thing, you're still being creative with your time, so that's different. It's not like you sat down and turned on TV, you know? You're still being creative with your time, so, I mean... That's your way of dealing with it, and that's fine because you're still being productive. That's not at all wasting your time. That's different. You know that's different. Like, you're still trying to be productive. You're still trying to do stuff, and that's okay. But anyway.
ask you about love, probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. You can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy.
Who was the most passionate fan I've ever had at a convention? I don't know. I've never really had situations where I've had people who were like super fanatic about my work. I've had a lot of people be like, "Oh, that was you. Cool," and walk away. That's usually how it goes. Yeah, I don't really have super fans. I don't have those experiences yet, you know. Am I gonna get what? Who's that, Pepper? Who's that? No, stop! Oh. My dog just knocked over a bunch of shit because the next door neighbor scared her. Like, made a noise and scared her. Oh, am I gonna go get barbecue? Nah, probably not. I don't... You know, a lot of, how do you say artists? A lot of people who work conventions like to go out at night and like hang out with other artists, and I get that, and they like to go out and eat, and I'm like, look man, I'm here, I'm trying to make that money, you know? I go to Walmart and I spend 15 bucks for like the whole weekend's worth of food. I get an Airbnb that has a kitchen, and I just cook it myself. That's what I've been doing. Holy shit, I've been saving so much money. I was actually, so that's the reason I'm not gonna go out and get barbecue, by the way. I don't like to go out and spend a bunch of money on food. Because when I go to these cons, I'm trying to make that money, you know what I'm saying? So, have I ever seen any cosplayers fight over nerd stuff? Nah. Not that I've seen, I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but nah. No, but it's just like, I went over all my finances for 2017, like all my deductibles, all my investments, and I'm just like, I spent thousands of dollars on food, and I'm like, what a fucking waste, dude, you know, like, and then it's just like, going out to eat, I get it's fun, but it's like, aren't we here to like make that money? But, you know, it's cool, some people like using conventions to get away, and if it's not their full-time job, they use it as like an escape from the day-to-day grind, and I get that. That's totally cool, but that's just not for me. Oh shit, dude. How many pages am I? Oh, I don't know. I'm not counting. I'm honestly not counting. Whoops, might have over-inked. Might have overfilled the ink cartridge here. It's getting a little gloppy glop. Shit. Where's a good place to get a drawing stand or a drawing table? Amazon. Amazon for the win. Shit. I put way too much ink in this. My cartridge. It's all messed up. Alright, so this page I'm going to be trying to empty out the ink cartridge a little bit. I'm using a webcam to stream. Anime Expo is the convention where I've sold the most prints. Like it's not even close. I must have moved a total of like 600 or 700 prints or something at like Anime Expo. With some fucking nonsense shit like that, yeah. Best convention Anime Expo 2017 was my best one. The next best one was Fanime 2016. Worst convention? RTX? I do want to try RTX. There are a lot of conventions that I want to try. Like, I have them all bookmarked and saved. I want to go to MagFest. So, you know, it just... If I could get into the cons is what it is. I'm aware of all the big ones. And I have them bookmarked, I have them saved. I've kept my eye on it. I just need to get in. Basically what the problem is. Damn, how much ink did I put in this? It's still overflowing. Like, we've drawn this entire page out and it's still overflowing. Shit. My bad. These tires were all fucked up. Worst convention I've ever been to. NerdCon 2016. NerdCon, it started off really small in 2015. It was in a little town outside of San Diego, California. It was a very, very good first year. Very, very good. And then the second year, they did that thing that I hate conventions doing, and they overexpanded. Or they overextended. Which means, basically, they increased the amount of vendors. They made the venue too large, unwarranted, and then when you spread things around too far, it makes it hard for attendees to like see everything, and then it spreads the money really thin, and then so they just really fucked things up. And the table was really expensive. Who the fuck's calling me? New York. What's the music I'm listening to? Just type in 24 hour. If you go to YouTube and type in 24-hour study music, then you'll 24-hour study music, and you'll find it. Whoops. I straight up burped, didn't I? Yeah, type in 24-hour study music. It's the very first one. It has an anime chick as the image she's studying. Do you have a case or bag you'd recommend when flying with a tall photo stand? You've been researching. I use SKB. SKB, they're you've seen my vlog, right? I have the big old black case, the SKB like golf case. I use that. And when they ask what's inside of it, just tell them golf bags, or just tell them golf clubs, because for some reason they give you extra leeway in weight when you're transporting golf clubs versus when you transport anything else. My guess is a bunch of fucking rich people. I'm going to check in my golf clubs. Yes, sir. We're gonna give you extra weight. Yeah, no, yeah, I use that SKB, I use that really big one. It in itself, I think, weighs like 14 pounds, the one that I have. So you do lose a lot of weight of the available 50-pound weight just because the existence of that tube is really heavy. But, I like it. I mean, it's like basically indestructible. That's how I move my stands, my display stands around. And Sheila, if you hit me up on Facebook, I could link you directly to the exact one that I'm using. I can pull it up on my Amazon account and send you the link to it if you want to just at least look at the one that I'm using. What's the funniest commission request? Somebody had me draw them on the body of a particular anime animal. I'm unfamiliar with the anime, so I can't remember what it's from. But it was like a little dog, and I drew their face mounted on the dog's body. And that was pretty funny. Had a really good response, though. People were digging it. Some of the worst and best customers I've ever had at a convention? The best customers are the ones who just, like, they don't hang around too long, like we can have a fun conversation and then they either buy something or don't, it doesn't matter, and then they just move along. Those are my favorite customers. The ones I hate are the ones who just, like, they have nothing but negativity to say. Like, they'll come up and they'll see my Pokemon poster. There was a guy, oh, what the fuck did he say? It was at IkiCon this past, like, three or 4 weeks ago in Texas, and, you know, I have my updated Pokemon poster. It has Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon on it. You know, that's as far as up to date as any Pokemon drawing could possibly be, right? So he looks at it, and he's just like the most facetious piece of shit ever, and he's just like, so, you know, when Gen 8 comes out, this poster's pretty much going to be useless, right? And I was just like, every poster here eventually will be technically useless. That's what I told him. I was all like, it doesn't matter. I was like, well, it's up to date now. And he's all like, but it's not going to be forever. And he just kept on going, and I was like, alright, dude, whatever. Like, that's how I acted. I was just like, whatever, dude. And he just kept on going. He was just like, no, but, like, doesn't that make you mad? And I was all like, no, you're fucking making me mad right now. And I was just like, anyway, people like that who have nothing but negativity to say. Now, there are some people who look at it and they're just like, whoa, every Pokemon ever. And then, like, their friend will nudge them and say, well, for now. And then they'll laugh and they'll walk off. I get that, you know? And then they just walk off. That's fine. But when you're gonna fucking bug me about it, suck my fucking dick, bro. My favorite Pokemon to draw is Ditto, because he's the fastest and the easiest one to draw. My favorite Overwatch hero to draw is Tracer, because I know her design, so I could draw her really quick and it doesn't take a lot of effort. There you go. That's my answer to that. Okay guys, so I do have a lot of work that I have to do. I don't know how many pages we got done today. I plan to stream again later tonight. Yeah, I didn't get that much. You know, I got a decent amount done today. Yeah, I plan to stream again later tonight. Cool. Alright guys, I'm gonna head out. I got work to do. Thanks for dropping by, and we will be back on later tonight.